Hello, my friends, and welcome back to Vintage Story 118.5 modded. This is the state of the playthrough address. I do one of these, usually once a season, maybe twice a season, just to keep you guys apprised of what's going on in the game world, what's going on in my channel, and what plans are for the future of my Vintage Story playthrough. So today we're going to start by addressing something. I want you guys to be aware that on the community page on my YouTube channel, I often address what's going on, what I'm putting up for the day, what may be my delays, my successes, or my failures, and make sure and go to the community tab and check what's there, because anything that I need to announce, I'm going to announce on the community tab. The second thing is that, as I announced previously, I'm going to be opening up a Vintage Story server. I'm still working out a couple of the details. The server is all set. I just need to decide which version of Vintage Story is going to be used on the server and what mods are going to be present. And once that server is available, I will be opening that server up to individuals who are subscribed to my channel and who make a small contribution to the channel, so that we can, of course, pay for the server. That's always an important thing to do. The third thing is that I have been looking at making some changes here in the channel based on the fact that some of my longtime viewers, who I really value, have not been finding my gameplay as interesting as they used to, and that's because my game style is a day in the life type stuff. It's me living my best life one day at a time, just here in the world of Vintage Story. And so I don't push a lot of technology. I don't rush through things. I'm just living my life, having a good time. And I may need to up that a little bit just to keep some of the completionists happy. And then lastly, what we usually do on the state of the playthrough is we look at what our current mod setup is by name with the description. So we're going to do that right now. We're just going to save and leave the world. And we will look at our current mods list. And these mods, pretty much the majority of them, are going to be what you will find on the server. So we are using the Alpha Weapons Pack fix, which is the Alpha Weapons Pack. It adds in some additional weapons for us, katanas and other things like that. We're currently, that's 1.0. We're currently using Ancient Tools, a collection of useful tools from ancient times, version 1.56. We are using Animal Cages, version 2.15, allows you to cage animals so you can catch them and transport them. Anvil Metal Recovery 118, that is version 1.0.1 currently, and that's we get back any bits we cut off metal while we're forging, and if our tools break, we're able to get some materials back from those tools. We have at Water's Edge, which gives us some wonderful water plants, version 1.3.1. We have an auto walk key, bed respawner, which does simply that. If you place down a bed, it changes your spawn point. We have better Firepit, which improves our fire pit behavior. Normally in vanilla, if you are cooking multiple things, the temperature returns to 0 in between each item that gets cooked. And this just ensures that it gets hot and stays hot. We have better ruins, which gives us all our wonderful ruins, including the castle that we are currently living in. Better traders replaces vanilla traders with new structures. We have Reignited, allows you to light extinguished torches from many sources. We have the Carry-On mod, which is always a necessity. If I was to lose every other mod that I have here, I would still have Carry-On. It allows us to pick up full chests and small animals and things like that. We have our Tameable Cats, Trader Camps, which gives us fewer individual traders and more camps of traders. We have our Death Waypoint system. We have the ability to do diagonal fences. We have DR Braziers, which give us braziers that both generate light and heat. Vines drop anyway. Drops vines while chopping trees or breaking the blocks they were placed on. We have Easy Sod, a mod that simplifies the sod roof recipe. We have Extended Craft, and it gives us a number of recipes that are items only available in creative normally, like paper lanterns and things like that. We have Fancy Sky. It just gives us a much nicer skybox as well as round sun and moon. We have Farmland drop soil, so you can dig your farmland back up instead of it disappearing into the ethers. Feverstone Wilds, which of course is lots of interesting creatures to be added in. We have the fishing mod from Sneezer Stein, All Hail the Mighty Mighty Fisher mod. Again, if I was going to be stuck to just picking a couple of mods, this fishing mod would be one of them. Flint Chisel, along with Wooden Mallet, gives us a Stone Age Chisel. Fauna of the Stone Age, Capreolinae, gives us white-tailed deer and elk and reindeer and a bunch of interesting creatures like that. Giant Gouramis, which gives us fish. Hanging oil lamps allows us to stick oil lamps to the underside of blocks as well as giving them a hanging chain setup when we put them on a wall. We have the hide and fabric mod, which gives us individual hides and skins from different animals, as well as giving us the ability to break down and recover some materials from clothing. We have the HUD Clock, which sits in our upper left corner in our case, and gives us the day and the time and the weather conditions and stuff. Joy of Sailing gives us sailboats. Creatures and Kritters gives us additional creatures. Medieval Expansion gives us things like drawbridges and portcullis and things like that. Meteoric Expansion just puts meteors in the skies of the Vintage Story world. More Animals, of course, gives us more animals. More Piles gives us the ability to pile up more things than comes in the vanilla ability. North American Fish Starters, or Little Fishes. Nails and strip clay molds so that we can pour nails and strips instead of having to forge nails and strips. That gets us to chests and things earlier. Ochre expands the cave painting system. We have ornamental fish that give us koi and goldfish and things. The Outlaw mod, and this is the canned version of it. It gives us our outlaws. We have the Palisade mod. It expands the Palisade system in the game. Peacock Bass gives peacock bass. Place every item allows us to do just that, to take every item in the game that is vanilla and allows us to put it down on the ground. We have player corpse so that we don't lose our stuff. We just go back and find our corpse and collect the stuff. Pot on a shelf allows us to put cooking pots on a shelf. Primitive survival, of course, gives us traps and fishing and a bunch of other stuff. We have primitive tools, which gives us some more primitive tools. Rackable fire starter allows us to hang our fire starter on the wall. We have ranged weapons. This adds in a couple of like flintlock weapons. They're high end in the game, and I haven't gotten to using them at all yet. We have real shingles, which gives us some additional roofing materials. Sam's humanoid creatures, which spawns humanoid creatures into the world. So we have, in addition to the bandits, we have some hostile humanoids out there. The dungeon mod, which gives us awesome underground dungeons. Sunfishes, which is, of course, more fish. I like to have my water populated with lots of fish. Useful stuff. This is the still useful stuff version of it, 1.1.5, and it gives us additional things to build. We have the volumetric shading mod installed, but I'm not using it. I don't like the way the windows look with it. We have creative mode, world editing, which allows us to change basically game settings that we would use to set up a world once the world has been created. We've got Vintage Story Quest, which adds quests to a number of our fantasy creatures as well as villagers. We have survival mode, of course, that's standard Vintage Story. We have VS Village, which has a village system which allows us to either spawn and create a village of villagers or to find villages spawned around the world. Wildcraft trees, of course, gives us many new types of trees. Wildcraft gives us many new plants. We can tame wolves. We have wooden fortifications, which gives us new defenses for building, like spikes and some other things to help keep the critters out. We have the wooden mallet that goes along with the stone chisel. That just opens up chiseling in the Stone Age. We have the workbench expansion, which allows us to duplicate chiseled blocks, making life a little bit easier if you like to decorate by chiseling. And with that, that is the entire list. So let us talk about the future of the playthrough. Since we are going to be opening up a server and providing access to people who want to play with me and some of the other members of the Gen X group on Vintage Story, we need to look at updating Vintage Story to a newer version if possible, because there's a lot of people out there that stay updated with the latest version all the time, and here I am playing on 1.18.5, which means if you guys want to play the same as I'm playing or play on the server, of course you've got to be playing 1.18.5. So what the process is right now is upgrading, putting in a second installation of Vintage Story, basically, because there's a great tutorial on doing that in the Vintage Story forums, by the way, and then adding it, getting as updated as possible, and then adding in all of our various mods and making sure they're compatible and work, and ironing out any kinks that we may have in that system, so that people, of course, can play with the latest stable version and have lots of interesting things to do and new ways to approach life on our server. And so with that, I'm going to end this state of the playthrough. I really appreciate all of you who have watched and dedicated time out of your lives to watch my gameplay. As I said, I'm sorry if my style is not to everyone's taste, but I do immersion gaming, and the best way to immerse yourself in the world is to live in that world. And that's what I do. So I hope you'll continue to join me. I hope you will like and you will share and you will subscribe. Please remember to go check out that community tab. It's where I announce anything that's going on that's important in the community. And please remember, have fun. All right. I will catch you guys in the next one.